He's the king of Old Trafford, a forward with the talent to define a generation. He's a national hero, a man who took on the government and fed millions of hungry children. He's the embodiment of what a Manchester United player should be: homegrown, dedicated, and a champion for his community. And yet, he is arguably one of the most criticized, most divisive, and most hated players in the Premier League. But why? What is the real story behind the public's war on Marcus Rashford? And is any of the criticism actually deserved? To understand the king of Old Trafford, you first have to understand the kid from Wythenshawe. Picture it: a skinny kid, one of 5 children, born to a mother from St. Kitts and a father from Jamaica. Growing up in the tough council estates of South Manchester, life wasn't just hard, it was a battle for every meal. His mother, Melanie, often went to bed hungry just so her kids could eat. His escape was football, and it was his father, Robert, who saw that spark and pointed him towards a local club that would change his life forever: the legendary football factory, Fletcher Rangers. This wasn't just a team, it was a proving ground that had already produced Man United legends like Wes Brown and was shaping future stars like Danny Welbeck, Jesse Lingard, and Ravel Morrison. For a kid from Wythenshawe, playing for Fletcher wasn't just a game, it was the first step on a path to immortality, with immense pressure to live up to the giants who came before him. But that pressure was only fueling his drive. When he wasn't on the training pitch, he was relentlessly chipping a football at any roof or shed he could find, determined to master the control that would one day lead him to the bright lights of Old Trafford. His talent was a fire that poverty couldn't extinguish. His under-18 coach, Paul McGuinness, saw something different. He didn't just see a clever player, he saw a young Cristiano Ronaldo. He wasn't goal-obsessed. He would play up front, but he was always wanting to be the clever number 10. It happened with Cristiano Ronaldo. Then he started to realize that goals got you all the attention. And he changed, didn't he, McGuinness? Less than 2 years later, that change was complete. At just 18, Rashford exploded onto the scene. Now imagine this: Marcus Rashford wasn't even supposed to play in the game that made him a star. He was an unknown 18-year-old sitting on the bench, only getting his chance because the team star striker, Anthony Martial, got injured just minutes before kickoff during the warm-up. But here's where it gets even crazier. A similar last-minute twist of fate is what gave another Man United icon his legendary shirt number. Can you guess which Old Trafford legend I'm talking about? Drop your best guess in the comments below. Rashford's rise was a fairy tale until the fairy tale became a prison. The world that had built him up now seemed determined to tear him down. The world turned on him. Pundits like Jamie Carragher questioned his ceiling, suggesting he'd have to leave his boyhood club to ever be great. The media scrutinized his every move, questioning his commitment. After a missed penalty for England, he wasn't just a footballer. He was a target, enduring a tidal wave of racial abuse that would have broken most players. The loneliness was immense. The final blow came under caretaker Ralph Rangnick. His confidence was shattered. He was benched, lost, and a shadow of his former self. The verdict was in from club legends like Gary Neville. It was a real low, the end of the line. But Rashford's response to this period was pure defiance. We've all been disappointed. I'm not sulking, I'm not unhappy. I'm my own biggest critic. My dedication and my desire to be here should never be in question. I love this club. But this is where the story takes its final, most important turn. The verdict was in. Pundits, fans, and even club legends believed his time was up. They had written him off. But they forgot one thing. They misjudged the kid from Wythenshawe. He didn't just come back. He returned as a king, shattering every doubt and delivering one of the greatest seasons Old Trafford had ever seen in recent times. So here's the real question. What was the secret to his comeback? Was it pure talent, a new manager, or a mental toughness forged in the fires of his childhood? Let me know what you think was the biggest factor in the comments. And the final thought for you: when the world writes you off, Do you believe them? Or do you believe in yourself? Marcus didn't just bounce back, he ignited. The numbers were staggering. 41 goal contributions, dragging Manchester United to a trophy and a top 3 finish. The ketchup bottle, as his manager Erik called it, had well and truly opened. The critics fell silent. The doubters had nowhere left to hide, because now the final verdict was in. Delivered not by the media, but by the people who mattered most. First, the fans. The same fans who had endured his slump now voted in their droves from all over the world to crown him with the club's highest honor, the Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year. Then his teammates, the men who saw his struggle and his dedication every single day in training. They too named him their Players' Player of the Year. But this was the moment that sealed his legacy. He became the first academy graduate from the streets of Manchester to win that award since the legendary Ryan Giggs in 1998. He had done the double. He wasn't just back, he was immortalized. And that is the true story behind the celebration. The finger pointed to the head. It wasn't just a pose. It was a defiant symbol of a resurrection. The final, undeniable answer to an army of critics. His legacy won't be defined just by statistics. It's defined by resilience. It's proof that a kid from Wythenshawe could carry the weight of the world's biggest club on his shoulders, endure the hatred of a nation, and still rise from the ashes stronger than before. But here's the ultimate truth about Marcus Rashford. The secret that powered his incredible comeback. The same fire that drove him to silence his critics on the pitch is the exact same fire that drove him to fight for millions of hungry children off of it. And here's a twist that brings his entire story full circle. When he fought the government for free school meals, he wasn't just helping strangers. A Sky News report discovered that over 80% of the kids currently playing at his old youth club, Fletcher Rangers, were receiving those exact meals. He wasn't just giving back to a community, he was feeding the next generation of kids standing in the exact same spot he once stood, dreaming the exact same dream. His legacy isn't just about what he did at Old Trafford, it's about ensuring the kid from Wythenshawe is never the last. So what can we take away from Marcus Rashford's story? It's more than just goals, trophies, or fame. It's about a mental fortitude and resilience forged in the fires of Wythenshawe. Think about it. Even at his absolute lowest point, when pundits, fans, and the media were tearing him apart, what was his focus? Not just himself. He turned his own pain into a national campaign, ensuring millions of children wouldn't have to endure the same hunger he once knew as a boy. He rewrote his destiny. Some players become legends for what they do on the pitch. Marcus Rashford became an icon for who he is off of it. He proved that your beginnings don't define your end, and that the true measure of a person is how they fight for those who can't fight for themselves. But he wasn't alone in overcoming odds. Louis Saha was another Man United forward whose life inspired millions on and off the pitch. Watch the video above to learn more about this Man United legend.